Hello everyone, and welcome back to Toy Box Racing. This was one of my most popular series, and because many of you asked for it, I've got a brand new racetrack for you, and I call this the Jurassic Classic. My inspiration for this course was an off-road race that I watched on television some months ago. It was kind of crazy watching jacked up trucks and buggies racing over bumpy dirt roads and uneven terrain. I wanted to see if I could build an off-road race like this in the toy box, and so this is what I came up with. It's one of the most difficult courses that I've ever driven. Forget everything you think you know about drifting around corners, because it will not work on the early part of this course. And there's another area near the middle of the course that's very challenging to drive too, but I'm not going to spoil the surprise. You'll just have to wait and see it. So without further ado, let's go racing. Okay, here we go. I'm going to let them get ahead of me like I usually do. And you can see these bumps cause havoc, even for the AI racers.
Hey, Francesca.
Sure am glad to have a little critter like you.
And if you thought that was difficult, welcome to the really challenging part of the course. There is no margin for error here. Oh, it caught Lightning McQueen. Alright, now you have a choice. You can go around the volcano or over, and we'll try our luck going over. And that didn't work. It got us. But we didn't lose too much ground. A lot of times it'll put you back at the very beginning of the course, or the beginning of the lava. So the spawn points in here when you die can be pretty tough. It can set you back a long way. Whoa! Oh my goodness. Whoa! It's bad enough dealing with the bumps, and then you got these guys trying to knock you off the road. Hey, get out of my way! I don't mind you dying and it's setting you back, just don't impact me. Alright, let's try going around the volcano this time. And there's some pretty tight sections in here. Again, no margin for error. Alright. Final lap. Whoa! Got meters spun around. Yeah, but then see, he wiped out and it put him way up at the front of the course here. That's not fair. I'm now in third. So you just never know. This is one of those courses where anybody can win. Alright, let's try that volcano one more time and hope we can make up a little ground and get lucky. Whoa! That was good. See what I mean? If you're off course a little bit when you leave that ramp, there's no recovery. I don't think I can catch anybody. But I finished third. That's usually about as best I can hope for on this course. But anyway, that's the Jurassic Classic, and now that you've seen this course, let's start building it. Okay, I'm starting off in an empty toy box, and Like some of my earlier tracks, this one is pretty easy to create. It's mostly a build exercise. There's very little logic, and so the build for this should go pretty quick, just a few episodes or so. The first thing you're going to need is the Forgotten Skies Power Disc from 2.0, which goes along with the Dinosaur World Terrain Disc. I've already placed both of those on my base, so we already have our sky. And if you don't have either of those power discs, you could use Baloo's Jungle for the sky, and any grassy terrain theme that you like, as well as the pirate-themed plant clusters and palm trees. Now, the orientation of the toy box by default comes up with the volcano over there, and this is where the start pad is facing, is that direction. So our track is going to begin over here on the edge of the terrain block, going that way. All right. And so I think the first thing I'll do is go ahead and style this block. And again, I'm going to use the Dinosaur World Terrain theme. I'll set that to be my theme, even though this is the only terrain block we're going to have today. But I really like this one. I like the clinging vines on the side there. That looks really good. And the dinosaur footprints all over it. That looks really fun. But, okay, so we're going to start over on this corner, closest to that volcano. And let me pull up my screen grab here. We're going to begin on this corner with a couple of long blocks here, just for spacing. So we're going to place down 1, 2, and then 2 of those, all right? And 1 more over. So that's where that is going to go. And that tells us where to place our start piece. And we're going to use the wide start piece. So we need to go over to the right for that. That's this one. This is going to sit right here on the corner of that terrain block. So just like that. And then we can take these little blocks out. And we're going to style this to use the X Games theme. I'll set that to be my theme. That gives us our dirt track. All right. And then we'll start putting down track, and that's as far as we're going to get today. So we'll start with this long, wide track right here. And then we need our split, which is unfortunately down here with the smaller pieces. This one. So that goes in there that way. And then a very long racetrack piece, followed by the arched piece. We don't want the steep arch, we want the regular size arch. So that one. Alright, and then we're going to do road to the left, road to the right, and then the large turn. And then another very long straight piece. Followed by another turn. And we'll just pick this up and put it back. That'll make it easy. Don't have to do a lot of scrolling that way. Excuse me. Alright, and then this one fits in here like this. We're going to put 2 of those, followed by a medium piece. That gets us to the cave. And then a very long piece, followed by another set of these bendy pieces. And then another turn. And this gets us through the cave. Trying to move it just a little bit, and it wasn't having any of that. Alright, and then a long piece to get us to the exit for the cave. And then an arched piece, and that's going to be this one. And at this point we're going to change the terrain theme, because this is where we come out onto the lava. And so now the terrain theme for that is going to be the Remote Headquarters Road. I'll set that to be the theme. Okay. And then we need a racetrack piece, which is that one, followed by the split. And this time we're going this way. Now, I'm going to build it this way. If you want it a little bit more challenging, you could put a longer piece in here for this, and the narrow turn going around the corner. But I found for myself, since I stink at driving, that having the turn here works a little bit better, the wider turn. So I'm going to use the short, wide track curve. And I would recommend just following my build instructions with this so that you have everything laid out. And then if you want to go back and make this a little more challenging and a little more narrow, then you can take this piece out and this piece out and fit the pieces you need into this track, so that you connect up where the next piece of track is going to connect to and where we connect to back here. So again, you'll take these three pieces out and fit them in with the narrower pieces. But this is what I'm going to do for now. Alright, and then we're going to use a racetrack right. Put that in there like that, followed by a very long piece, followed by the bowed piece. Bowed ramp. Okay, and we need to actually go up. And this just makes it a little bit more challenging than just winding around the lava. Because when you go up the ramp and you come off the other end, you can go airborne for a little bit, which makes this kind of challenging. And then we're going to put a racetrack piece in here just to give the player something to come down on, something to land on, before we put the split in here. I originally, when I first designed this, I had the split, or had this side thing right up here against the ramp. And most of the time I'd come off of this ramp and I'd end up going past the edge here and right into the lava, which wasn't any good, so that's why we do that. And then once again, we're going to widen the track for the turn, just to make it a little bit more forgiving. And now we'll scroll over to the right and pick up the wide turns. And just like before, if you want a little bit more of a challenge, after we build this, you can take the wide sections out and put in something a little bit narrower, the narrower turns. And having to navigate those with lava on either side, that is definitely a challenge. But if you suck at driving like I do, or you got small kids who need the little bit of forgiveness there, that can really help. Alright, and then we need the branch, and we're going to use, not that one, that one. Wide track intersect left. And then we need another split, so it'll be easier to come over here and pick that up. Like that. And then we've got 5 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And on this end, we're going to put 2 of these racetrack rights over here. Like that. Followed by a very long piece. And a medium. And another very long. And then a couple of racetrack lefts. Like that. And on the other track, another split. And then we can have the tracks rejoin. So I'm going to pick this piece up and put it down. And this is the one we need. The one next to it. Like that. Okay, and then we can put another split in here to get this back to the narrow track. Alright, followed by a very long and a medium. And at this point we are off the lava. And so now we're going to change the theme on this again. And I'm going to use the Dinosaur World theme, just because I think that's kind of interesting. Again, if you don't have that theme, you can go back to the Dirt X Games texture at this point. But I wasn't sure when else I would get a chance to use this particular kind of texture on the racetrack, so I wanted to make sure that I did that. And it does look pretty cool. Alright. And then a racetrack left. Followed by another very long. And a medium. And then the bowed ramp. And the arch. That gets us back up to the level of our original terrain block. And then we put in another very long piece. And at this point we change our theme again. We go back to the dirt theme. Do-do-do-do-do. There it goes. All right. And then we're going to put down another one of these. Oops. Followed by a long. Followed by a turn. And now we're heading right back to the start line. One more very long here, followed by our split. And if everything went right here, we should be able to put in the long, wide track, and this should fit right in there, just like that. And there we go. So there is our course. It is pretty much a, a U-shape, which keeps it as compact as we can so it doesn't spread out too much. And we have our ramps over here that we need to put in for the volcano, but I'm going to do that when we build the volcano. I don't want to try to do that right now. I could, but we'll wait until that point in time. But I think that's enough for today. Next time we'll begin building the terrain around our track. Until then, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you'll hit the like button and leave a comment to let me know what you think of my new racetrack. Also, before you go, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that already. Have a great day!